Let it be known that this video is no more, no less than documentation. That's it. It's a small, very, very short article that I wanted to go out there and read to you here today, and it plays into a bigger piece of news, the kind that I normally wouldn't cover on this YouTube channel, but because it's relevant to the main topic of the video, we're going to be talking about it here. So, we're going over the Vancouver Canucks and their goaltending search because at the time of recording this audio, Patrik Allvin and Jim Rutherford have not signed Kevin Lankinen to any sort of a contract just yet. The team has not given out a PTO to any of the guys that were available on the goaltending market. If you remember, in the video a few days ago, we had talked about how goaltenders that were playing in the NHL, or not that played in the NHL, but that had an NHL contract in 2023-2024, but who are still unsigned, they come few and far between at this point in the season, or I guess I should say in the off-season. You've got Kevin Lankinen, you've got Martin Jones, you've got Carter Hart, who of course is not an option at all, and then you had a few other guys. But in this video, I wanted to talk about how the Vancouver Canucks have straight up gotten rejected by one of these names. To help us out, we're going over onto an article published by Patrick Johnston from yesterday. The Canucks, thanks but no thanks, says goalie Antti Raanta to a PTO. With the Canucks anxious about Thatcher Demko's readiness for the season, they've made calls to free agent goalies like Antti Raanta. So, let's go out there and read what the scoop is here. Yes, the Vancouver Canucks called Antti Raanta about coming to their training camp. No, I'm not interested, was Ranta's reply. The veteran goaltender told Finnish newspaper Ilta-Sanomat on Saturday that he's not interested in playing in the NHL anymore, let alone checking out an opportunity on the West Coast that was really nothing bigger than a maybe. With the Vancouver Canucks obviously worried about the status of Thatcher Demko for the start of the season, they've been checking out what few free agent goalie options remain as insurance options. The top-line name remains Kevin Lankinen, where the door remains open, but where there is also an obvious divide over salary. Raanta is a goalie head coach Rick Tocchet knows well from when Tocchet was bench boss in Arizona, so it makes sense that the Canucks would have inquired with Raanta about his interest. And I don't like to do the thing where we read an entire article on a video, but that's exactly what we did here. It's a really short piece here from PJ. It's just saying that the Canucks offered Raanta a deal. He said no, and in fact he's saying no to every NHL deal, because as it was revealed in the newspaper, he is no longer interested in playing National Hockey League minutes. And this plays into a bigger conversation that we could have about Raanta. We could talk about his career, we could talk about the time he had spent in Arizona, but I just wanted to give that short little brief update on Vancouver Canucks goaltending, because it is interesting to note what names have been tossed out there and what names have directly been explored. If you want to go over to Raanta, I mean, the guy's 35 years old now, so it makes sense why at this point in his career he would decide for himself that he wants to do what he wants to do. Doesn't seem like he wants to go back into the NHL. He wants to maybe hang them up in North America, despite the fact that he was offered a chance at playing for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Antti Raanta, if you wanted to go over to the history there, he had an .872 save percentage this previous season in 24 games played with the Carolina Hurricanes. Definitely not great. Like, that's so not good, but he was a positive winning goaltender. He had 12 wins, 7 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 1 shutout to accompany his .299 goals against average. It's funny because he actually did have worse numbers in the AHL. Similar save percentage, .873, but a .354 goals against, and he was a negative goaltender in the Chicago Wolves system. Very, very awkward there. Let it be known as well that Raanta was good in the NHL as far back as just last year, where he had a .910 save percentage in 27 games played with the Hurricanes and a .909 save percentage in 6 games in the playoffs. He also had a .922 save percentage with the Hurricanes in the playoffs in 2022 and a .912 save percentage in 28 games in the regular season. Those are some very good numbers for a guy who obviously is in the tail end of his NHL career. Who knew? It took one bad year in Carolina for Raanta to hang him up and say, sorry, I'm not playing in North America anymore. No wonder the Vancouver Canucks were interested in this player. Honestly, you could say that his statistical profile, if you ignore the previously completed season, is better than Kevin Lankinen's. And if you wanted to go over to territory that Rick Tocchet is familiar with, hey, when Antti Raanta was playing his best hockey, that is when he was with Rick Tocchet. Take a look at this here. So, Arizona, he had a pretty good stint there. 2017-18, Raanta had a .930 save percentage in 47 games played. Ay, that is incredible. And who was the head coach of the Arizona Coyotes in 2017-18? Well, look no further. It was Rick Tocchet. Assistant coach Scott Allen, John McClain, Joe Elkin, a whole bunch of other guys there. So you could say that Raanta was having himself a time. .930 save percentage in the NHL in 2017-18. I just cannot believe that. It was a different time, honestly. You think about the goaltending and how everything was shaping up. Raanta was literally 3rd overall in the NHL in save percentage, and the only two guys who had beaten him were Carter Hutton with 32 games and Curtis McElhinney of the Toronto Maple Leafs with 18 games. Antti Raanta outproduced Corey Crawford, Roberto Luongo, Ryan Miller, Marc-Andre Fleury, Pekka Rinne. Who won the gosh darn Vezina that year? Oh, was it Hellebuck? Yeah, I think it might have been Hellebuck. He had 67 games played. Or, wait, no, I think this was the Pekka Rinne year. Yeah, no, never mind. This is when Pekka Rinne went on that insane run and had himself the Vezina because he didn't lose a game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, that was a while ago. Okay. Antti Raanta was really good in an era where other Finnish goaltenders were also really good, and he continued to have success with the Arizona Coyotes, posting up a .906 save percentage, a .921, and then a .905 before heading over to Carolina. Honestly, one of the more underrated goaltenders, somebody that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily think of when they think best of the best. I mean, he had a .936 save percentage stint in the Chicago Blackhawks organization in 2014-15, although that was in 14 games played. So obviously, Antti Raanta has had a really strong NHL career, and now is a guy who's looking to close this chapter of North American hockey in his lifetime. It led to no other options but for him to reject the Vancouver Canucks contract offer, and like PJ writes about, this would have been a maybe anyways. This wouldn't have guaranteed any playing time. He wouldn't have overcome Artur Silovs in the depth chart, nor Thatcher Demko. He just would have been an option, just in case those two guys were both not available for Vancouver to start out the year. All in all, though, Antti Raanta, it was worth a try. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks trying to sign Raanta and for him to say no. What are your thoughts on Kevin Lankinen as well? They're still playing the waiting game. It's Sunday morning. Rain is falling over here. So, okay, no, just kidding. It's not rain is falling. It's sunny in Vancouver. But we'll see whether or not Kevin Lankinen ends up signing with the Vancouver Canucks in any capacity over the next day or 2, or 3, or 4, up until training camp, I guess. And for Antti Raanta, I mean, it was a good career in the NHL, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.